I'll show you a world that no two-armed human can enter. This is the six-sword style, which can only be performed by someone with 6 arms and a charmingly flexible body. I'm going to chop you up. Hello and welcome to One Piece 101, the series that breaks down everyone and everything in the One Piece world. Today we are going to be examining everybody's favorite octopus fishman, Hatchan. Alright, before we get into this, let's cover some potential naming confusion. Hatchan was introduced to us and is probably still better known as Hachi. However, the octopus himself has insisted that his real name is Hatchan and Hachi is a nickname. This is incredibly confusing because in Japanese, chan is used as a diminutive suffix and so is more likely to be a nickname, but there you go. Hatchan is a fairly kind, dopey, and generally fun-loving fisherman who first appeared in the series during the Arlong arc. However, despite just describing him as kind, he was a member of the Arlong Pirates, which was the group responsible for the tyranny of Nami's home, Kokoyashi Village. But deep down, Hatchan wasn't really a bad guy at all, and how he came to be an antagonist in the series is a bit tragic actually. As a young fisherman, Hachi enjoyed a seemingly easygoing childhood, often hanging out with his friends Chu and Kurobi, dreaming of one day opening up a takoyaki stand. As a child, he also managed to save the life of Silver's Rayleigh, the former first mate of the Roger Pirates. And from then on, Hatchan would often visit Rayleigh and Shaki on Sabari Archipelago. However, when Hatchan grew older, he joined the Arlong Pirates, a group that had sprouted up in opposition of the ideals of Queen Otohime, who was heavily promoting peaceful and cooperative relations between humans and fishmen. Exactly why Hatchan was opposed to this at the time essentially sprang from the fact that he would have been discriminated against during his entire life, as well as the poisonous influence of Arlong himself. Hatchan and the Arlong Pirates would eventually amalgamate into the Sun Pirates led by Fisher Tiger, a fisherman who had attacked the Holy Land of Marijois. As part of the Sun Pirates, Hatchan was involved in causing general chaos for the world government, until one day they came across a human girl named Koala, who was a former slave of the Celestial Dragons. In a move that shocked the entire crew, Fisher Tiger agreed to transport Koala back to her home island. During their voyage, Hatchan became quite good friends with Koala, and was visibly saddened when the time came for her departure. However, upon returning Koala to her family, the Sun Pirates were ambushed by a legion of Marines, led by then Rear Admiral Strawberry. The Sun Pirates managed to escape on a Marine battleship, however their captain Fisher Tiger received mortal wounds, leading to his death shortly after. An incredibly distraught Hatchan then became part of the reformed Arlong Pirates and set sail to East Blue, eventually conquering Kokoyashi Village and founding a new settlement known as Arlong Park. Hachi's main role in the crew was to be the caretaker of the sea cow Momu, however he was also quite an accomplished swordsman, practicing the art of Rokutoyu, meaning 6-sword style, and in fact Hachi was thought of as the second strongest swordsman on his home of Fishman Island. During his long tenure at Arlong Park, Hatchan was both directly and indirectly responsible for a wide array of atrocities committed against the human villagers. And while Hatchan certainly didn't take pleasure in the tyranny of humans as Arlong and the other crew members did, he did bear a large level of responsibility for being a passive party. After his captain Arlong betrayed Nami, the Straw Hats invaded Arlong Park, resulting in Hatchan fighting against the swordsman Roanoa Zoro. Despite being heavily injured, Zoro convincingly defeated Hatchan, and the remainder of the Arlong Pirates, including Arlong himself, fell at the hands of the other Straw Hats, thus liberating Nami and Kokoyashi Village. Hatchan and the rest of the Arlong Pirates were then arrested by the Marines. However, Hatchan managed to escape and began a journey that was detailed during his cover story known as Hatchan's Seafloor Stroll. Essentially, this story follows Hatchan intending to return to his home on Fishman Island, only to encounter Kami and Papug, and after various shenaniganry, the three of them open up a floating takoyaki stand known as the Takoyaki 8, thus fulfilling a childhood dream of Hatchan's. But the story of this octopus is far from over. He would next appear when the Straw Hat sailed to Sabari Archipelago, being held hostage by the Flying Fish Riders. Kami had asked the Straw Hat Pirates to help rescue him, however upon discovering that it was Hatchan, the crew changed their minds. Well, all except for Nami, that is, who despite having gone through a horrific experience involving the fisherman, decided to keep her promise to Kami and stated that Hatchan is harmless. Hatchan thanked the crew by offering them some of his takoyaki, and although Nami would not forgive Hatchan for what he had done, she did grant him that the takoyaki was quite tasty, which left Hatchan overjoyed. Hatchan then accompanied the Straw Hats and showed them around Sabari, taking them to theme parks and such. But unfortunately, somewhere along the way, Kami was captured by slave traders and taken to the human auction house to be sold off to the highest bidder. Hatchan and the Straw Hats attempted to win Kami by bidding, however they were dwarfed by a 500 million berry bid by a celestial dragon by the name of St. Charlos. After attempting to prevent Luffy from taking action against the world noble, Hatchan was shot by Charlos, who was incredibly proud of his efforts and intended to take Hachi as a bonus slave. Luffy then punched the hell out of Charlos, causing a string of events that would lead to the 2-year separation of the Straw Hats. Meanwhile, Hatchan was taken to Rayleigh's house in order to recover. During the 2-year time skip, Hatchan protected the Straw Hat ship the Thousand Sunny from wave after wave of Marines along with the Rosy Life Riders. However, Hatchan sustained serious injuries during one particular battle and was forced to return to Fishman Island to recover. Speaking of, Hatchan would next be seen during the Fishman Island arc, still recovering from his injuries. In this state, he attempted to speak sense to Hody Jones, who was planning to launch an assault on the Ryugu Palace. However, Hatchan's words fell on deaf ears, and he was injured yet again by the Devil Fruit powers of Vanderdecken, meaning that throughout this series, Hatchan has become a very unfortunate individual, having been sliced, shot, and struck by a barrage of arrows. I guess he does have yet to be hit by a cannonball though. Maybe that'll be next. In any case, a once again gravely wounded Hatchan managed to escape and encountered the Straw Hat Pirates on Fishman Island. He then proceeded to warn them of Hody's plans while receiving medical attention from Chopper. Hatchan was then taken to the seafloor forest and left there to recover with Kami, while the Straw Hats proceeded to defeat Hody Jones and the new Fishman Pirates. After Hody's defeat, Hatchan, along with Den and Kami, witnessed a miraculous sight as a group of Sea Kings dragged the Noah out of harm's way and plonked it down in the sea forest. He was later seen enjoying a victory banquet at the Ryugu Palace and was present to bid the Straw Hats farewell from Fishman Island. Some more fun facts about Hatchan. In One Piece Green, it was revealed that Hatchan's character was originally intended to be a squid fish woman by the name of Maple Reed. Despite being an octopus, Hatchan makes and sells takoyaki, which is battered fried octopus. And while this has always weirded me out a little bit, apparently it's okay, because in the animal kingdom, octopi have been known to be quite cannibalistic. And finally, a truly useless fact. After Hyozo aged rapidly due to the overuse of energy steroids, Hatchan is now technically the strongest swordsman on Fishman Island. Wait, that wasn't useless. And that pretty much does it for Hatchan. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to like, favorite, or subscribe. And if you want to see more of this sort of stuff and are keen on supporting independent creators, then also feel free to check out my Patreon, the link to which is in the description below. Finally, please do comment with who, what, or where you'd like to see featured in the next One Piece 101.